Joining us now from Cincinnati is the man who got some pressure that day, pretty hard pressure, from Tim Russert, the House Republican leader, John Boehner. Congressman, thanks very much for coming in.
Wolf, good morning.
Before we get to some of the other issues, the economy, taxes, energy, your thoughts right now. I know you were on the receiving end sometimes of some tough questions from Tim Russert, but give us your thoughts on this very sad Father's Day weekend.
Wolf, he was a tough journalist and clearly the preeminent political journalist in Washington. But Tim and I had a very special relationship. We kind of grew up in the same kind of blue-collar neighborhoods. He in Buffalo, I here in Cincinnati. My dad owned a tavern. We both went to Jesuit to schools, and you know, growing up Catholic together. And so after he wrote his book about Big Russ and me, I had a chance to talk to Tim. About his experiences growing up with his father, my experiences growing up with my father. And I can tell you the two of us shed a tear together one day. He was a great human being, someone who clearly loved his family and did a marvelous job covering those of us in politics. But let me tell you, he was a tough, well-prepared interviewer.
He certainly was, and we will all miss him. We're going to have some more reflections on Tim coming up here on Late Edition. Let's get to some of the most important issues out on the agenda right now, and you're the leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives. In our latest CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll, we asked registered voters all across the United States who would handle the economy better. 50% said Barack Obama. John McCain got 44%. Among registered voters, we asked your choice for Congress. Look at this. Do you support a Democratic Congress? 54% said they do. 44% said they would support Republicans in Congress. You've got a huge problem awaiting you come November, because it looks, if you believe in these numbers, Congressman, you believe in some of the special elections that have recently taken place, you're on the verge of suffering even greater losses in your minority status in the House of Representatives.
Well, Wolf, we've got a steep hill to climb. It's a challenging year for Republicans. But I think Republicans, what we have to do is show that we're agents of change. We have to go out there and show the American people that we have solutions, which we do, for the economy, gas prices, our national security, and health care. And I think if we're able to go out there and present a clear choice to the American people, I think we'll do much better than people expect in this election cycle.
Senator Obama, the new leader of the Democrats, now says that if the Republicans take over, if McCain gets elected, it's simply going to be more tax giveaways to the wealthiest Americans. Listen to Senator Obama.
Senator McCain is now calling for this new round of tax giveaways that are twice as expensive as the original Bush plan, and nearly three times as regressive. Understand, regressive means it is skewed to hurt low-income and middle-income people and to help rich people.
All right, you want to respond to Senator Obama?
Wolf, if you look back over really the last 27 years, since 1981, when Ronald Reagan cut the top tax rate from 70% to 28%, we've been cutting taxes for the last 27 years. By and large. And what's happened? We've allowed the American people to keep more of their own money, to invest in our economy, to expand the jobs in our economy. And guess what? We've got more people working, a healthier economy, more people paying taxes, and more revenue coming to the federal government. Washington doesn't have a revenue problem. Washington has a spending problem. And I think that reducing taxes, allowing the American people to invest in their own future is a much better prescription than what Barack Obama and the liberal Democrats want, which is higher taxes, bigger government in Washington, and more control from Washington.
Well, during the past almost 8 years, when the Republicans were, except for the last year or so, were in charge of both the White House and the Congress, the national debt went from around $5 trillion to more than $9 trillion. This is a debt that our children and grandchildren and their children are going to be paying off for a long time to come. Why should the voters trust the Republicans?
Well, the real issue here is that if you look at the additional domestic spending, it was mostly for the efforts after 9/11, Homeland Security, a war in Afghanistan, a war in Iraq, and a growing entitlement problem. The president tried to address the Social Security entitlement problem and got nowhere. if we don't address the long-term problems with Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, where we've made promises, we, the baby boomers, have made promises to ourselves that our kids and their kids cannot afford. We need to address these programs because that's where the real run-up in the national debt is occurring. And I can tell you if Republicans earn back the majority in the Congress, we will address this entitlement crisis head on and be straight up and honest with the American people.
The price of a gallon of gas here in the United States, the average now over $4, and in some parts of the country, it's even approaching $4.50 and even $5 a gallon. Many Republicans, including you want to start drilling, especially drilling in Alaska, the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge. The leader of the Republicans now, John McCain, says, bad idea. Listen to this.
I understand the attractiveness of it, but I would also say to you, I would not drill in the Grand Canyon, I wouldn't drill in the Everglades, and I believe that this area should be kept in pristine preservation.
He's referring to what's called the Anwar oil reserves, oil fields out there. Why is he wrong?
Well, in my opinion, we can drill in Anwar in an environmentally safe way. And so, John McCain and I disagree. But we do agree that we can have more domestic drilling here in the United States in an environmentally safe way. If we're going to get serious about getting off of our dependence on foreign energy, we've got to do what I call all of the above. We need more conservation. We need alternative fuels. We need biofuels. We need to look at nuclear energy in a more serious way. And yes, we need to drill more and to develop more domestic production. And over the 18 years that I've been in Congress, there have been 46 votes to bring more domestic production online. And I voted 46 times to have more production in the United States. Nancy Pelosi, on those same 46 votes, only voted twice to bring more domestic production. And if you look at the record over the last 18 years, Republicans have been for more domestic production, trying to get off of our dependence on foreign energy, and about 90% of the time the Democrats have opposed us. And I can tell you, Wolf, that each and every day, over the next 5 months leading up to this election, Republicans are going to force the Congress to deal with this issue. It's time to be honest with the American people and show them. Right. If you don't want to drill, show the American people you don't want to drill.
Congressman Boehner, thanks very much for joining us. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Wolf. You too.